So today we are going to be going through our Stonewood Storm Shield Defense number 6. Now on this new series that I'm doing for 2022, I am doing the No Craft Challenge, and that means I am not allowed to craft any traps or weapons apart from heal pads, defender pads, or any bounce pads, anything like that. There will be no gas traps, no wall darts, no traps crafted whatsoever. So I am going through all of the Stonewood questline and the SSDs probably for my 5th time around now with this new series. If you do want to see AFK builds and you want to see step-by-step builds on how to do all of your different defenses, then there will be links in the description which will show you all of my defenses I've done in the past. I have covered all of the amplifiers, all of the possible amplifiers that you will get, all the way up to Twine Peaks. I've done all of those many times. So do check the links in the description if you do want the individual step-by-step builds. But for this series then, we are going through all of these SSDs with just the traps that I find from looting chests and completing missions. There will be a little bit of shooting here and there, and there is the odd instance on this SSD that I did have to try and finish off a rather persistent smasher that managed to get through all of my defenses. But I'm not going to be showing you the individual step-by-steps on these builds because they are pretty similar to the ones that I've done in the past. So I'm not going to go through all of those over again. There are some parts in here that I do want to point out. Now, you'll probably notice on, I think it's wave 3 as we are going through these defenses, there are a lot of wall spikes which are placed on walls in a tunnel, and they were kind of placed there pretty much just because that is the only traps that I had at the time. They are absolutely pointless. They will not get used and they will do absolutely nothing. So if you are doing trap tunnels, don't place any wall spikes on the side walls because they won't get hit. The way that wall darts work is they will cause damage to husks that attack them. So if they are on the side walls, they are not going to actually be attacking those structures. So they're not really going to be taking any damage from them. So don't go doing that like I did. But as I said, I only placed them on there just because I had nothing else to place on there and it looked pretty bare and pointless tunnel otherwise. The other thing, do make use of your defender pads. A lot of people do forget about defenders and they can be extremely useful, especially in your early days in Stonewood and Plankerton. Defenders will, as you level them up, they will be able to get more accurate with their shots. They will be able to do more damage with their shots. And they do have, just like weapons and schematics, they do have different perks, but the only problem with defenders is you're not able to alter those perks on a defender. Whatever perks they come with are the perks that they are stuck with, so do bear that in mind. But you can definitely use defenders to your advantage, especially in the early days, and they will help out a lot. Now, I have been trying to do this with pretty much as least amount of building as I can on these SSDs because I'm so limited on supplies and things, and up until now I've had very limited storage space in order to keep things because I've been keeping so many traps. Everything that I do find in chests, I've been storing all of the traps in my storage and my backpack. And when you find weapons and traps and things in the world itself, they don't stack up in your backpack. So when you would normally be crafting your traps, you would be able to craft, say, up to 200 in a stack. But of course, because I'm finding them from chests and I'm not crafting my own, it means that they pretty much go into my backpack as single items. Sometimes you get the odd one that'll have 2 or 3 of the same type of trap, but generally they go in as single items, and that means my backpack and my storage is constantly filling up. I'm always getting rid of crafting materials because I'm not going to be using them to craft anything, so I always get rid of those. But yeah, I'm so limited on space that I can't store normally the amount of metal and things that I would normally store. And because of that, then I don't have lobber shields, I don't have flinger shields or anything to stop those annoying lobber ladies. And they can be an absolute pain in the backside, especially at the moment because we have our love event out. We do have love lobbers out, and they are even more annoying than any other form of lobber. They have this pink smoke that they kind of lob at you, and if you stand in that smoke for any length of time, it can really cause you some damage, and it can take you out pretty easy. If you've got 2 or 3 lobbers all flinging at you all at the same time, you can get taken out really, really quickly. So you may want to think about lobber shields, but as I said in my links in the description, there are other SSD videos which will all show all of the lobber shields and everything that you can set up. Now, if you're not stupid like me and you're not trying to do the no craft challenge, then you will probably have some okay traps by now, and one of those traps hopefully will be the anti-air. If you do have the anti-air trap, it can be an absolute godsend against those lobbers and flingers. If you put those up on the very entrance to your trap tunnels, then any lobbers that come along try flinging and attacking you or attacking your structures, then the anti-air traps will take them out. Another good thing to remember as well is to try and put at least one sound wall at the beginning of your trap tunnels. If you do that, then any propane tanks that you get coming along, then the sound walls will make those propane guys drop their tanks, which then won't explode in the middle of your trap tunnel. If you get a couple of those exploding in your trap tunnels, then they could be pretty much demolished in one fell swoop. So it's definitely a good recommendation. And in case you didn't know, the anti-air traps actually do take out the propane tanks as well. If you have a propane guy which is coming up to your tunnel and suddenly decides he wants to lob his propane tank straight at your tunnel, then the anti-air trap is also going to be able to take out those tanks and save your trap tunnels, and of course save your SSD hopefully from failing. Having said that, majority of other husks will all get taken out by your traps and your weapons as you use them. The only other thing you might kind of struggle with are your smashers. Now, smashers are an absolute pain in the backside. Since a recent update, although nothing has been made 100% certain on this, I am pretty convinced that smashers are now more nasty than they've ever been on the game before. They used to charge a couple of tiles and hit against your tunnels or your walls or your amplifier, and then they would, sort of head towards you. Nowadays, since a recent update, they tend to be charging for what seems miles. I've seen smashers in Twine Peaks going further than 14 tiles in a single charge, and they have gone through a tier 3 metal of various forms. So smashers can be an absolute nightmare, and the best way to counter those is to have some form of sort of kill box. And a kill box is essentially a 1 or 2 tile square box which has got the most damage in it. So whichever traps that you have got which have got the most amount of damage to them, fill that box with those traps. And as long as you can get the smasher to sort of move into that box, then they should take care of majority of them and get rid of them and get them out of the way. Smashers, if you don't get rid of them early enough, can cause some major damage. They could be the end of your SSD. Now, as I was going through editing this video, there is one additional thing I would like to point out regarding your smashers. Now, whether it be your Storm Shield defenses or your normal defense missions, you do need to make sure that any structures that you do place, any trap tunnels or any defenses that you have, if they are within 3 tiles of the objective itself, and in this case the Storm Shield amplifier, then the smashers will charge them. You will quite often see people will build smasher bridges in Storm Shields, and they'll build certain structures, certain shapes of structures which do prevent smashers from charging at them. But as a general rule, as long as you don't have anything within 3 tiles of the amplifier itself, then the smashers shouldn't charge at them directly. Also, depending on where you are standing can affect your Storm Shield defenses. If you are standing, let's say, behind a load of block off that you have got, then the smashers are going to sense that you are there and they are going to charge through your block off. So whenever you are doing AFK builds, make sure that you are not standing directly behind any block off or any defenses that you don't want the smashers to charge at. But yeah, that is Storm Shield defense number 6. Hopefully there are some good tips in there which are going to help you out. If it does help you out, then please consider dropping a like down below. Any comments are always appreciated. There will be loads and loads of links in the description which will help you out in your Save the World games, as will these videos up here. Until the next one, I hope you have a fantastic day, Commanders. Stay safe, and I will see you on the next one.